Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnu Paramananda Prabhupada Jagacharya Stajara Sadasi Srimad Charya Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Shiva Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Guru Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopalinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Shri Shri Vrindavan Ki. Shri Mayapurna Vrindavan Ki. Shri Jagannath Vidam Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Maharani Ki. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Gauravani Pracharya Nirvani Prasya Deshatani. Yes, okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7. What Prahlad learned in the womb. And this is verse number 48. Tasmad artas chakamas cha. Dharmas cha yad apashraya. Sorry, my eyes are not so good. Vajjatan iha yatmanam. Antam harim ishwaram. Aniham harim ishwaram.
Aniham harim ishwaram.
Tasmat artas chakamascha. Dharmascha yada pashraya. Vajjatanta yatatmanam. Antam harim Aniham harim ishwaram.
Aniham harim ishwaram.
Tasmat atascha tamascha.
Tasmat atascha tamascha.
Dharmascha yad astavaya.
Tamascha avaraya.
Vajjatan yad manam.
Vajjatani hayan manam.
Aniham hariyam ishwaram.
Aniham harim ishwaram. Tasmai atascha tamascha. Tasmai tamascha tamascha. Tamascha ya akasraya. Tamascha
yad astavaya.
Vajjatani hayan manam.
Vajjatan yad manam.
Aniham harinam ishwaram.
Aniham hariyam
Tasmat,
Tasmat,
therefore,
therefore,
Artha,
Artha,
ambitions for economic development,
vision for economic development,
Cha,
Cha,
and Kama,
Karma,
ambitions for satisfaction of the senses,
ambitions for the satisfaction of the senses,
Cha,
Cha,
also,
also,
Dharma,
Dharma,
duties of religion,
duties of religion,
Cha,
Cha,
and Yat,
Yat,
upon whom
upon whom,
Apashraya,
Apashraya,
dependent,
dependent,
Pachata,
Pachata,
worship,
worship,
Anihaya,
Anihaya,
without desire for them,
without desire for them,
Atmanam,
Atmanam,
the super soul,
super soul,
Aniham,
Aniham,
indifferent,
indifferent,
Harim,
Hari,
the supreme personality of Godhead,
the supreme personality of Godhead,
Ishwaram,
Param,
the Lord.
the Lord.
Translation, that this is Prahlad Maharaj speaking here. The four principles of advancement in spiritual life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, all depend on the disposition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, my dear friends, follow in the footsteps of devotees. Without desire, fully depend upon the disposition of the Supreme Lord, worship Him, the Super Soul, in devotional service. Hare Krishna. So please repeat. The four principles
The four principles
of advancement in spiritual life,
of advancement in spiritual life,
Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha,
Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha,
all depend
all depend
on the disposition
on this position
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Therefore, my dear friends,
Therefore, my dear friends,
follow in the footsteps of devotees,
follow in the footsteps of devotees,
without desire,
without desire,
fully depend upon
fully depend upon
the disposition of the Supreme Lord,
the disposition of the Supreme Lord.
worship Him,
Worship Him,
the Super Soul,
the Super Soul,
in devotional service.
in devotion service.
Who's got a dictionary in their phone?
Dictionary.
You have?
I can search for what?
Disposition. This word disposition appears twice in the translation. Let's look at the exact definition in the dictionary.
Dispossession or disposition?
D-I-S and then P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N, disposition.
A person's inherent qualities of mind and character. Another
Give me
disposition.
this. Okay. Disposition. A person's inherent qualities of mind and character. Huh? So, a person's nature, I guess.
That is a nature, yes.
As it says here, an example. Your sunny disposition has a way of rubbing off on those around you. your very positive mood, shall we say, your positive character and mood influence others, right? So yes, it's a nature of a person, his disposition. Okay, that's the relevant here. What word is similar to disposition? Temperament. A person's temperament. Okay. Some common synonyms are character, personality, temperament. Yes. And here's a more detailed definition. The predominant or prevailing tendency of one's spirit's natural, mental, and emotional outlook or mood, characteristic, attitude. Here's an example also. I'd like to thank the general manager for his hospitality, kindness, and always cheerful disposition. So he always had a cheerful mood, huh? Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Okay, now we go to the purport. So I read again the verse, now that we've studied the meaning of disposition. So the four principles of advancement in spiritual life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, all depend on the disposition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, my dear friends, follow in the footsteps of devotees without desire, fully depend upon the disposition of the Supreme Lord, worship Him, the Super Soul, in devotional service. So in other words, depend on the personality of the Lord, depend on His character, His personality, His mood. So these are words of intelligence. Everyone should know that in every stage of life we are dependent upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore the Dharma, religion, which we accept, should be that which is recommended by who? Prahlad Maharaj. Bhagavad Dharma. This is the instruction of Krishna. Sarvadharman parityaja mamikam sharanam braja. To take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna means to act according to the rules and regulations of Bhagavad Dharma devotional service. As far as economic development is concerned, we should discharge our occupational duties, but fully depend on the lotus feet of the Lord for the results. Karmanyeva dikaras te ma phaleshu kadachana. That's from Bhagavad Gita. Anybody know what that verse is? It's a famous verse, actually. Anywhere we can find it. We have a Gita here, actual book. Do we? None have a.
What Gita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here. Okay. Very good. Just see if we.
Like 748. Take 7.
Which verse?
Chapter 7.
Oh, that's today's Bhagavatam. 247, the Bhagavad Gita. This is actually a verse that Gandhi would quote a lot. They say Gandhi, he was a believer in Bhagavad Gita, so he would quote this verse. This is 247, Bhagavad Gita. Karmanya eva dikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanam ma karma phala heturbur ma te sango sakarmani. Krishna said, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. This is a perfect verse for a political leader. Isn't it? To encourage everyone to perform their prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits. Never be attached to not doing your duty. So you must do your duty. You must work hard, but you're not entitled to the fruits. Never consider yourself a cause of the results of your activities. Krishna is the ultimate cause. And the fruits, well, they should be offered to Krishna. The fruits of our actions, we should perform our actions as a service to Krishna. And we should want to offer everything to Krishna. This is one of the important messages of Bhagavad Gita. Yad karosi yad asnasi yad jahosi dadasi yad tapasyasi konteya tat karusva madarpanam. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, do it as an offering to me, Krishna says. So this is the principle. Of course, that's not all. I mean, there's a lot more to Bhagavad Gita than that verse. Okay, karmani evadikaraste mafaleshu kadachana. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. According to one's position, one should perform his duties, but for the results, one should fully depend upon Krishna. Narottam Das Thakur sings that our only desire should be to perform the duties of Krishna consciousness. We should not be misled by the karma mimoksha philosophy, which concludes that if we work seriously, the results will come automatically. This is not a fact. The ultimate result depends upon the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In devotional service, therefore, the devotee completely depends upon the Lord and honestly performs his occupational duties. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj advised his friends to depend completely on Krishna and worship him in devotional service. What happens when you look for karma mimamsa philosophy? If you look in the purport? No, look in I don't know. Just look in general in Google or in some of our database or whatever. But to my understanding, karma mimamsa philosophy means that the demigods are they're giving results of activities, but they're forced to give them. So if one does a work seriously, automatically the results will come. The process is not a fact. The ultimate result depends on the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any results? Karma Mimamsa?
Karma Mimamsa teaches the Vedic rituals, Karma Kanda.
Okay, karma.
Karma.
Give me, maybe I'll read that because.
This is I search actually according to now the quotation I have to look for.
Okay, according to Srila Prabhupada, here's how Karma Mimamsa is explained and critiqued. What is Karma Mimamsa? Karma Mimamsa teaches that Vedic rituals, Karma Kanda, that Vedic rituals alone are sufficient to achieve Dharma, Artha, and Svarga. Dharma, religious merit, Artha, prosperity, and Svarga, heavenly enjoyment. There's no discussion here of moksha. It's just Dharma, Artha, and Svarga. It emphasizes mechanical ritualism, assuming that if rituals are performed correctly, results must follow. So in other words, you do your duty, so automatically the results will be there. And the demigod, if you're offering to the demigods, which is what happens in Karma Kanda, automatically they're forced to, give the results. Krishna argued this, isn't it? In the Govardhana Lila, he put forward this. Huh?
Yes, they argue with
Yeah. God is not central to this school. The belief is that the power of the mantra and ritual itself gives the result. Sanjay, Chile.
Oh, okay.
The power of the mantra and ritual itself gives the result, not a personal deity. So, they're saying that automatically by performing Karma Kanda, you'll get, if you do the rituals properly, you'll get the results. And so, God is not important in their philosophy. It's a materialistic philosophy. Prabhupada's view, Prabhupada strongly critiques the Karma Mimamsa viewpoint because it denies or minimizes the role of God. In the Bhagavad Gita 3.9 purport, he says, the whole purpose of the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas is to gradually elevate the soul from material enjoyment to spiritual realization, but Mimamsakas get stuck at material rituals. And the misconception of independent karma, this is another point made by Prabhupada. Karma Mimamsa holds that karma is independent of God, but Prabhupada counters, results of karma are not automatic, they are sanctioned by the Supreme Lord. And in the two Vedic purpose is bhakti. So Prabhupada says the real goal of the Vedas is to know Krishna Vedanta, not just to perform rituals. And then the quotation here from Bhagavad Gita 15:15, from the purport, I guess. 15:15 is a famous verse, isn't it? What's the verse? Who knows that one? Matas Mitir Jnanam Apunam Cha Vedascha Sarvera Vedanta
Sarvasya chaham iti sanisto natasmiti ganam atmo hanacha Vedasya sarve aham eva vidyo vedam veda vedanchaham
Sarvasya Chaham Riddhi Sanivisto. Yes. Matasmitir Jnanam Apunam Cha Vedascha Sarvem Aham Eva Vedanta Krit Eva Vedanta Krit Veda Eva Chaham. Krishna says, by all the Vedas am I to be known, isn't it? What's the translation here?
Really take it might.
I'm sitting in everyone's hearts and from me and come remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. By all the Veda and attribute known in them and the compiler of Vedanta and the knowledge of the Vedas.
Yeah, indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta and the knower of the Vedas. So here, this is a quote from the purport. The purpose of all Vedic rituals is to awaken devotion to the Supreme Lord. What is this? Chat GPT?
I use this to check Prabhupada Mama Vimansa. Here, ChatGPT.
Did you just put the word karma mimamsa or did you?
No, I asked according to Prabhupada, what
okay.
Prabhupada says. Otherwise, may come many other things.
Okay. So Chat GPT is just, it's artificial intelligence or what is it?
Yes, Maharaj.
AI
They search, even they search on the.
just AI
Available.
put anything they will tell you what
Yes.
should have I say
That's super
so
fast.
smart
Huh?
so smart
More smart than us, eh?
also he can chant Hare Krishna
It can chant Hare Krishna.
yeah.
This is a program that you download, is it? Chat
Yes,
GPT?
yes.
Download app. The
Hmm?
gift is also same like that gifts
I think I might have somebody put it on my computer or my phone, so I never used
the
it.
form Dixit same you like the Dixit now so many devotees use it for AI put anything to there translate and ask any question you want to get some topic of the Krishna consciousness then you just send the topic out he will tell you and how to speak about how to think so smart
It's interesting, I was in Stockholm with Brahma Muhurta, you know, who's in charge of the BBT there, so he was, he asked this chat GPT
yeah
GPT to write a Vyasa Puja offering to Srila
yeah you
Prabhupada
also can write
by Bhakti Baba Maharaj, you know, just, and it wrote a first class, you know, offering and including, you know, things that Maharaj himself did in Krishna consciousness, like went to Mongolia, preaching and different things like that. It's all included in the Vyasa Puja offering. Very nice offering.
They're very nice. Yesterday, someone sent me a letter, a sensitive letter, and I asked how to answer, what Srila Prabhupada will have answered. How he will have answered this letter, because all the letters of Prabhupada are also in the letter. Interesting how the way we suggest something, you know, to give ideas, you know, sometimes.
Okay. According to one's position, one should perform his duties, but for the results, one should fully depend upon Krishna. Narottam Das Thakur sings that our only desire should be to perform the duties of Krishna consciousness. We should not be misled by the karma mimamsa philosophy, which concludes that if we work seriously, the results will come automatically. This is not a fact. The ultimate result depends upon the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In devotional service, therefore, the devotee completely depends upon the Lord and honestly performs his occupational duties. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj advised his friends to depend completely on Krishna and worship him in devotional service. So again, the verse, Tasmat artas chakamascha dharmascha yad apashraya vajatan iha yatmanam aniham harim ishwaram. Translation: the four principles of advancement in spiritual life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, all depend on the disposition of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, my dear friends, following the footsteps of devotees, without desire, fully depend upon the disposition of the Supreme Lord, worship Him, the Super Soul, in devotional service. So this is a Krishna conscious philosophy. Everything depends ultimately on Krishna. And the way to attain perfection in life, or genuine happiness in life, is to worship Krishna and serve Him by one's thoughts, words, and deeds. And Krishna, being a person, reciprocates with his devotees. So once, Prabhu said, if you take one step towards Krishna, then he will take 10 steps towards you. And Krishna is very kind, he's very merciful to his devotees. And he appreciates even any small service. Just like Lord Rama, when they were building the bridge to Lanka. So they had to throw stones into the ocean. And by the potency of the Lord, those stones floated on the ocean. So as to make, a bridge by which the Lord, Ram, Lakshman, and Hanuman, the monkey army, could cross over into Lanka to defeat Ravana. So Hanuman was throwing the big boulders, and there was a small spider. Oh, somewhere it says squirrel, somewhere it says spider. Anyway, it says squirrel. Was pushing grains of sand also in order to serve the Lord. And Hanuman said, "Get out of my way." Don't you see I'm doing important service here? I'm doing very important service for the Lord. Move aside. And Lord Ram chastised him, This squirrel's service is just as valuable to me as your service. He's, serving with full heart to the best of his capacity. He's got a small body, that's all he can do, is push a little grains of sand. But he has a proper mood of bhakti. So don't become proud, he told Hanuman, just because you have big body and you have many powers. Don't become proud. So yes, everyone should serve Krishna. Some may have capacity for doing more or accomplishing more than others. Some may only be able to accomplish a little bit, but Krishna appreciates every service. That's why he says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tuyam Yume Bhakti Prayachati. Just offer me a leaf. A leaf, what is that? Easy to offer. Leaf, fruit. We can find so many fruit. Flower, water, very common, all common things. But Krishna is saying, offer with devotion, then I will accept it. If you don't offer with devotion, Krishna is not so interested. Was telling the story of Krishna's visit to Mithila. So when Krishna went to Mithila, he was invited by two of his devotees. Anyone remember their names? Bhakti Shastri. You have passed it? Yes. Anyone?
What is the question, Maharaj? Can you repeat?
When Krishna went to Mithila,
Okay.
he was invited by two of his devotees to visit their homes. Can you remember their names? Who remembers? He was invited by two devotees. One was the king, whose name was Babalashva, and another was a poor Brahmin, whose name was Shrutadev. You can find this in Krishna book, but it's in the Bhagavatam as well, in 10th canto.
No Bhakti Shastri. This is maybe Bhakti Vaibhava.
Okay. not reached that stage. What's after Bhakti Vedanta?
Bhakti Vedanta. Maybe.
Yeah, the Bhakti Vaibhava is the first 6 cantos, and the Bhakti Vedanta is the second 6 cantos. But anyway, Prabhupada gave the Krishna book early on. When I joined, we had a Krishna book. Yeah. I walked into the temple on a Sunday feast, as a guest, and a devotee put a Krishna book, big Krishna book in my hand, new Krishna book. Vishal, you know him? Vishal Prabhu? He's a famous devotee, disciple of Prabhupada. Yeah. So he put this Krishna book in my hand, they were just printed, Prabhupada printed in Japan, first class Krishna books. And I asked the devotee how much. He said £2.50. So then I took out my wallet and I gave him £5. He said, hold on a minute. He said, I'll go and get the change.